Yo, 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 what is up? I don't really know how to start this video, but this is something that I have wanted to do for a while, apart and addition to all the things that I am currently doing. Why not do one more thing? And like I said, this is something that I've wanted to do for a while. It involves one of, if not the greatest passion that I have, a hobby that I've recently have gone fully in and am completely invested in, which is films, movies, not just any film though, not your Avengers or not your, quirky action movie that involves a lot of CGI and a lot of, very poor dialogue and just raunchy music. Not that type of film. I'm talking films that will stay with you, right? That teach you about life, that talk about subjects that you might find uncomfortable, that while you're watching them, you're completely lost in the story, in the character, in the music. Films that are, by many people's standards, perfect. That you can keep on watching them over and over and feel something new every single time you watch them. Those are the films that I'm interested in, and this is exactly why I wanted to create this, because films and movies have always been a time in my life where I cherish those moments. When I was a kid, I remember getting to the weekend because my dad would rent Redbox at the time. I don't know if many of you may be aware of what Redbox even was, but there are these little boxes outside of CVS, which I think they are now discontinued. There may be some here and there, but it was basically Netflix at a box, where you would rent one or two movies for a few days and then return them before you got a fee on your credit card. And that was what we did. And the best memories I have growing up are going to that Redbox and telling my dad which ones to choose, right? And so I saw a lot of good films with the Redbox, spend a lot of quality time with my parents, with my family, and that is what movies are to me. They're a time where I care about nothing on the outside world, nothing that's going on, solely what's going on within the four walls of my room with the TV that I have in the movie that's playing. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I've seen many great films, which is the reason for why I wanted to start this, because it wasn't until recently that I really got introduced to filmmaking and the power of filmmaking. I took a class in college that was titled, I think, Intro to Filmmaking, something like that. Intro to film. And what they basically opened my eyes to was how complex sometimes a movie can be, and the beauty of paying attention to the colors, to the reasons why a director chose this type of dialogue, or why it chooses certain type of quirks for characters. There's much more than what meets the eye sometimes on a screen, and when you look back on that movie that you've watched, it gives your experience a whole different meaning. And so that's what it is to me. I'm really passionate about movies, films, good films, Cinephile is what I would consider myself. Um, an enthusiast of films. So that is essentially what this is going to be about. I hope that you share some of my same likings, or if this is something that is going to be an entry for you to be involved or be in love with films, then maybe I can be that introduction for the films. And this is basically going to be the format. I'm going to be, I think, going to be starting with Criterion Collection movies, which, if you don't know what those are, highly recommend you check those out. They're basically movies that have a cultural significance from all around the world that this group, the Criterion group, tries to make sure that those films live on forever. So they remaster them into today's standards. Well, what is 4K, high definition, Blu-ray standards, and they try to just have people watch them, and they're beautiful films. Everyone can agree, critics can agree, that the films on the Criterion are there for a reason. And so I picked up a lot. They just had a sale, just to show you, just to quickly show you here how many I've picked up. Here's about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9, about 9 here. So that makes what? 17, 18, 19 Criterion movies, Criterion Collection movies. That's not mentioning like the 430, but the 120 DVDs that I have that are just in standard definition, how they were released. Movies that I think are yet to be in the Criterion Collection, but will be or should be if I was the one choosing the movies. And these are more of the fun movies, like the I want to say, like, here, let me look at the Transformers, right? Apocalypto, Drive, some movies that more people may be familiar with, but aren't to the standard of the Criterion Collection. And so I will be reviewing some of those, but very, I don't want to say obscure, but perhaps films that aren't in the Criterion Collection that should be. Because you yourself can go watch Transformers and expect just a good action movie with good characters, and at the beginning of the films, decent dialogue. And towards the end, they sort of morph into this over-exaggerated, in my opinion, over-exaggerated series where they just want to milk the series out with however many movies that come out, right? So basically, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be really raw, like the editing. There's going to be very little editing, so I will say, I will stutter. I will say see, there you go. I will try to just think about things on the fly. Of course, I will do some of the research when I watch these movies. I think about oh, maybe I missed this part. What else, or whose viewpoint from the internet can I identify with when after finishing this movie? Why did I miss that, or how does this overlap into this? Questions that I may have that other people who watched the movie before me have had and have found answers. So just try to relay that all information. I won't try to give as much detail as I probably can, because the point of this is for you to go watch these films and hopefully have a different experience than I did. So I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, it's going to be super, super raw, very little editing, if any editing, unless I say something egregious. But I'm going to always try to, make sure I'm saying the right things. And some of these topics can be a little bit touching. Some of these movies, like I said, are socially culturally taboo subjects in some of the movies. So, that's why they're important, and that's why they are kind of preserved. So, with that being said, I hope you're excited for this. I'm excited for this, and I hope that your world of films is broadened, and that tomorrow you may have this same enthusiasm. Films that you can share with your family, with your loved ones, for the times to come. So I'm gonna leave it as that, and yeah, hope to see you on the next one.